justified. So it means that something wrong about the students. So you must be able to justify every single thing that you are going to say. Because you are professional in the future, you have to be responsible towards each of the statements that you're going to say. Because in the future, after you finish PhD, some of you might be a consultant. Then when you become consultant out there, the client will ask you, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? Each of the statements they will ask you. Okay? So, next one. So, factors to explain phenomenon, this one I explained already, and also how do they operationalize it. Operationalize it means how do you going to measure it. For example, let's say she's doing on culture orientation, so she's using certain questionnaire to measure the 4 dimensions of culture orientation. So that's how she operationalizes it. And also the measurement. Are you going to use the Likert scale? Are you going to use the grounded theory if you're using a qualitative? Okay. In case you're using quantitative, so are you going to use what skill that are you going to use? All right. Okay. Next one. Hypothesis too general, not directed, and not testable. Okay. I receive hypotheses like this. Okay, usually, hypotheses are very general one, which is, there is a relationship between A and B. There's no relationship between A and B. Example, all right? So, the hypothesis I've seen before, okay? But of course, if you run qualitative, okay, then this part you can skip. Because qualitative, you do not need a hypothesis in the beginning of the study. Only when you construct, okay? Then if you use grounded theory, when you construct it, then you're able to build a theory. Then it's not hypothesis testing for quali. In case for quanti, some of them, they give me the statement. Okay? The statement, meaning that, for example, a very general statement they have confusion towards research questions and also research hypothesis. There's another problem during proposal stage. All right? Talk to your supervisor to check whether you write it correctly or wrongly. Some of the research, because it's very common, especially first round when you see your student, really everything you have to sit down with them. Yeah. So you must sit down with your supervisor to see what is happening. Then after that, unit analysis is not clear. Okay. So the test that you're going to use is not appropriate. All right. So as what you mentioned just now, some of the statistic analysis are not clear. So what I will do, I will refer to a statistician. I will ask my friend, my personal friend, okay, as a statistician to sit together with me, then sit together with the students so they're able to help. So there is help. So that's why I always say that you do not, even though that's why I agree with one supervisor. The reason why, because other thing is based on your supervisor effort and the students' effort. Because if you have a panel, you have to wait 2 or 3 people sit together. Okay. So I don't know, because I'm from different institutions, so I could see wonders. I really see wonders, and students need to defer because of waiting for supervisors. Have you seen before? Have you heard before? Interesting, right? For university, they say, oh, too bad. You have to settle your own supervisor because you are adult. You're doing a PhD, you're doing a master, you're adult. So you have to deal with your supervisor. Make them to be together. It's one of your tasks. Okay? So another one, usually, bias. That's why you have to justify why do you use probability sampling. If you use probability sampling, are you using random table? Why do you use random table? Why do you use convenience sampling? Is it possible to get your sample? For example, one of my researchers is doing on intention to purchase. He intends to use, in his proposal, he intends to send a supermarket to ask people, would you buy green product or not? I would say that, very simple, forget about it. The reason why, if you go to shop, if you go to shopping, okay, if people come and look for you and ask you to fill in the questionnaire without any remuneration, I repeat, without any remuneration, okay, I don't think you will spend time to answer 120 questions. Just do a very fast survey. How many of you willing to help 120 questions without remuneration? Stand in the supermarket when you are together with your child or one of the... Some more, the day of, because he's working, he mentioned that I would do it on Saturday and Sunday. When you go to Tesco, Leisure Mall, how many of you willing to stand there to answer the questions? Can you see, this is the role of the supervisor to see what are the problems that it could, because for the researcher, they might miss out human nature, while, for sure, no problem, I send Tesco whole day, for sure people will entertain me. But if that entertains you also, do you know how the human behavior, it would be quantitative, they mark 3 or 4. Usually they mark 3, middle, consistency then. Exactly, thank you very much. That's what we call bias in the sampling. And another of my researcher, very interesting, I asked, why do you choose that sample? Easy for me to complete my study. Easy, convenient. Then in that case, you should write convenient sampling. Then you have to justify one convenient sampling. Hopefully the examiner will accept. So this is somehow you have to work together with your supervisor to fine-tune how to improve it. And of course, the credibility of the respondent. And in case you do qualitative, one of the favorite questions I always ask, how to ensure your client or your sample do not tell lie? How to answer? Of course, we have the way how to answer. So that's why you have to work together with your supervisor how to answer those questions. But whether the student want to listen to you, another story. So then after that, analysis of data, coding, integrating, also one of the very common problem it would be. And also statistic tools, not the right tools they are choosing. For example, they cannot differentiate between ANOVA, MANOVA. They don't even care whether it's, parametric or non-parametric test, whether the sample because they have to test the normality first, usually. Okay, for statistic analysis, they test normality. After testing normality, only they know that whether I have to use probability and non-probability. In case you insist to do probability, maybe you have to use log linear to change the data from, not change, to do treatment towards the data from the non-parametric to the parametric. We can do that, but it takes a long time. I have experience of taking, together with a statistician, not I myself, because it's a Unicy joint publication. So I remember I spent more than months, just only, because in order to make the quality of the test more significant, we try to use the parametric test. This is advice from the statistician. Then after testing, and we use various methods, the square, the log, the linear log, different type. Okay, so finally, I'm not the one to find. The statistician that is able to make it to be linear. Okay, I have a very strong statistician is assisting me at the moment. But whereas he's assist my student for the statistic analysis, then I assist his student for the theoretical framework. So we always we always help each other. So then after that, interpretation of data. The student do not able to produce, after they run the SPSS out, so then after that, let's say you do factor analysis, then you have to know how to read the rotation. If you use the SEM, I'm very sure you know that you have to do a pathway analysis, the critical analysis, how to read each of the values out. Maybe some of the values, right? So it could be critical for you. So we will always ask, why do you not look at the quotation? In case for t-test, chi-square, what does it mean by degree of freedom? It could be, even though you're not doing a PhD in statistics. So because that is a simple things that a PhD student should have. It doesn't mean that you have to do a statistics. Of course, we will not ask you, how do you calculate by using formula to do chi-square? We will not ask you like this. But whereas for interpretation, so you are supposed and you should be trained. Oh, hi, finally they are here. Okay, one of the AEU just registered one of my researcher. Okay, so this is how you should go about it. And also, when you do your presentation or result, that one is too far from now, which is after you complete your study. So before your Viva, you should okay, sit down with your supervisor to go through the slide one more round. But how many of the students will have time? I got a student, proposal defense, tell me what you know. No need one, I can handle, I'm a lecturer. Okay, fine, I say good luck. Okay, that's very, very common. And also, during when you write a discussion for a thesis, not, what is that called? Not deep enough, and also the implication, when you talk about the implication, not clear at all. And also, for both academic implication and also the practical implication, okay, is not clear enough. And also, limitation. And limitation, be careful of it. Some of the students, right, they take one they'll take one research methodology book, then I've seen before this kind of students, seriously, when I become the examiner, I can identify which research method book from the hair. Okay, which research methodology book he paraphrased from. Can you imagine that until that stage, I'm able to identify which book. Because the research methodology book, they should have one chapter, it's called limitation. The student go and match one by one, Okay, limitation in that book, in my research, how is it? They copy the definition, paraphrase the definition, add only one statement. Okay, I really doubt, how to say that? I always have a bit of, after I joined Putra Business School, because we always look at human governance, so I start to doubt the template type of research. I start to a bit, how to say that? Not feel comfortable, okay? Template type of research. So I do not want a template type of research in case those who under my care. So at least I want them to really have something out there. Okay, so limitation, you have to spell it clearly. All right, but during your proposal defense, the limitation is only your projection that could happen. But when you conduct the research, so what problem that you encounter during your research, right, is under your limitation. So for example, it's very difficult for you to control human, let's say qualitative, right? So it's impossible for you to confirm that the person is lying to you or not lying to you. Am I right? You put in your limitation. What you didn't mention, put in the limitation. So in the future, if anything goes wrong, if the examiner asks you, why? So I already mentioned it in my limitation. Am I right? So that's why your supervisor should be able to share with you how do you, so answer everything so that you can go through your PhD easily, happily, no problem at all. So then after that, conclusion, and also reference this is I do not know about other examiner. For me, I'm going to match one by one. Okay, do you miss any references? And very common during the literature review, right? They can write wonders of the literature. Then at the back, isn't it? Wow, this one missing, that one missing, this one missing, that one missing. Because as a role of the external examiner, I have to find which one is missing. Because I have to write report.
The words automatically let you insert dissertation.
Who talk about the word insert dissertation, right? Be careful. Okay, because when I mark one of my master's student assignment, right, the way how they quote by using the system, the references system, might be incorrect. Be careful. Okay, especially the volume. Be careful. You try and see. All right. Then after that, the standard of language. Of course, this one I couldn't control. Usually for my style, okay, I would ask my students to send to the English editor before that, because I'm not trained in. I do not have a TESOL. I do not. Even though I've written many books, but all the books actually we send to the editor to check. Because I believe that as a writer, even though when I train my writers, I told them that we care about the content. The language side, please leave it to the professional to check for the writer. But thesis, of course, you should have a certain standard, but make sure, please, especially the questionnaire, which is that they really not my student, but from my university, I feel a bit shame. How it is, and when the questionnaire, the student is doing on finance, I know nothing about finance, okay, know nothing, zero about finance and accounting, okay. The students send questionnaire to one of the university I'm teaching, Okay, because I'm teaching, I teach in several universities. Then the dean mentioned that the questionnaire grammar here wrong, here no full stop, near whole thing. Then by the end of it, the dean refused to answer, throw it back to the researcher, and really make. And also the dean tell the whole world. Then it really made the supervisor, aduh, muka pun tak tahu nak letak mana. So that's why I always, some certain part I always really look into. The result, it will reflect my quality because I care towards my own quality. So that's why sometimes, especially questionnaire, make sure if you want to send to the client, before that, make sure English editor. Because my English is not good enough, so English editor is a must. So you have to find your own way to get an English editor. Because there's a lot out there. You pay a few ringgit, then they edit for you. The professional one. Get the professional to edit. English editing, I believe yes. Not the writing. English editing, I think yes, right? English editing to, yes. Yeah, I mean, because they will not change your content. In case they cannot understand the statement, right, they will, what is that called? They will make it a color, they will ask you what do you mean, and then after that you inform them, they'll paraphrase for you. Yeah.
They paraphrase for us.
Computer cannot be trusted. Grammar check cannot be trusted. Don't trust that one. Never trust the thing. I think you know what happened to the comic was being banned, right, because of the Google Translate. Okay, then after that, abstract is too long, okay? Because if you want to do a publication, the abstract which is about 100 to 120 words. So in case for the journal publication, okay? Title not reflect the content of the thesis. Because title, you have to change and revise from time to time. It's impossible that you start your research, this title, until the end of the submission, also the same title. No. So you have to revise from time to time. So what is the standard of the, what is that called? How do you make the construction of the whole title? Because I do not have time. So you can get the slide from a few of my current students. They have the slide. So you get from them, ask them to email to you. So because I have the principle of guidance, how many words it would be. Did you join the Skype that day? No, okay. All right. Because from time to time, I will share, I will use my own Skype to link all my students together because to share something. For example, the number of words, it would be, what are the criteria? There are 6 criteria. You were in India during that day. Okay, so 6 criteria of the title, what to put in the title. You must include the, what is that, sample, the IBDV, and also the number of words should not more than 20. Then after that, our advice usually is about 12 to 15. That would be the best standard, and others details, how to then write the whole structure of it. So for them, I will train them step by step. So it's easier for, or else in the future they submit to me, either they die or I vomit electricity and blood. So it's better for them to get the right way, submit to me, I reduce my stress and tension. Because seriously, some of the students, if you do not tell them what do you expect, right? So by the end of it, so they write wonders. So the hypothesis is not hypothesis. Objective is not objective. Because they cannot link, you know, sorry, I need to write a little bit. Sorry, a few more minutes. Sorry. This I seriously, I hope to share. Which you should be like this. This is general objective. Then from the general objective, only you come up with the specific objective. Maybe your general objective you have 2. Will contribute to 2 of the specific objective. Then from the specific objective, only you can, what is the objective? Only you come up with your, what is that called? Your research questions. Because the research questions to answer what? What is the objective of research question? To answer your objective. Am I right? So, and wonders come out. How my student did it, some of my students, how they did it, you know, the researcher, how did they did it? Wow, the research question here, I do not know how. Seriously, after reading many times, I sent to my other PhD student to review also. Okay, they cannot link back. What is the function of this question? And when I ask the student, what is the function? I do not know. Can you see? You must be able to link. So from the research questions, then of course everything here, you have to come up from where? Literature, review. You have to come up, we have to link to your theoretical framework. Can you see? Everything is all one big family. You cannot think of pieces. But by the end of it, tak boleh jalan no. Koyak, I say. So everything must link together. Only from here, if you use quantity, only you have the hypothesis to test. After you test your hypothesis, then you're able to answer your research questions. Then only you have your, where is the discussion? I do not know where is it. Only you have your discussion there. If you do not do it systematically, that's why research is systematic. The keyword is systematic. Am I right? Yeah. So if you don't do it systematically, I do not know how you're going to complete it. Maybe you can complete it, but you have to go through a very merry-go-round. Okay, so yeah, the title. So then this one, I don't want to mention one by one. So this one is just only specific one because I put the slide in the PC as well. I hope the university can upload so that everybody can share, because I believe that the knowledge is from the creator. So I just share whatever slide it would be. So, sorry? It's inside the PC over there. Yeah, in the student learning management system. So, okay, and also some of it, you have to be very, very careful. Is it the level of knowledge, is it worth a PhD? Because some of the questions, some of the students, they say that I adapt the questionnaire from this one, I change a little bit, add 1 or 2 variables, you want to get PhD. Oh, I say, who? I tell my student, in that case, I can get 100 PhD already, you know.